Yo, what's up, guys? Today we're taking an obvious and simple approach to cannabis. Blunts versus joints. What's better? Would you rather smoke a blunt or would you rather smoke a nice spliff? We're going to break it down. We're going to talk about the pros and cons to both blunts and joints. And luckily for you guys, I've been smoking blunts and joints for the better part of 20 years. So I'm pretty qualified to let you guys know what I think is the best way to smoke. Yo, if you want to support me and the cannabis movement, hit that subscribe button. That way you'll get an update every time I post a video. So let's get right into it. Here's the pros and cons to blunts. First, blunts have a way bigger variety. If you go to the store, you're going to see a huge variety of blunts, blunt wraps, different types of blunts, different flavors, vanilla, pineapple, apple, cider, cinnamon. I could do a whole video on just that. So that's a plus, man. That's a pro. If you go to the store, you're going to get a way bigger variety opposed to the variety of rolling papers that they have, which is only 2 or 3 different brands. Also, blunts taste better, they burn slower, they burn faster and evener, and they don't canoe as much. So those are the pros that I have for blunts. Now, let's dig into the cons I have for blunts. That most blunts contain tobacco in the leaf. That's obviously a con. A lot of people are deterred from smoking blunts because of that reason, because they don't like the taste of tobacco or they don't want to mix tobacco with their cannabis, which is understandable. I get that. Another con is blunts are more expensive than rolling papers. One blunt is probably the same amount that you would pay for a pack of rolling papers that you could probably roll 25 to 30 joints on. One blunt probably be $1 to $2. One pack of rolling papers probably $2.50 to $3. So you're going to pay more for blunts opposed to papers. Another con for blunts is you use much more weed rolling up a blunt than you do rolling up a joint. Blunts are usually bigger. They usually come, they're just a lot bigger usually than rolling papers are. So you're going to use more cannabis to fill up a blunt than you would to fill up a rolling paper. The last con is that blunts are worse for your health than rolling papers. I mean, that's cut and dry right there. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm giving you guys the facts. Blunts are definitely going to be worse for your health than rolling papers are in the long run. So moving on to the pros and cons of joints. They're all natural. Rolling papers are all natural. They're usually made out of hemp or a tree or whatever. They're not made from tobacco leaves or anything like unnatural. So when you're using rolling papers, usually you're getting an all natural product, and that is definitely a pro. The second pro is they're easier to roll. Blunts are pretty hard to roll. A lot of people are scared of blunts just because, you gotta crack them, then you gotta take out the tobacco, and then you gotta, lick it, and sometimes you gotta take the leaf off and then put the leaf back on. And, this is before they had all the blunt wraps that don't even come with the tobacco in the middle anymore. But some people are deterred from using blunts just because of that. So a pro for joints is definitely they're easier to roll. Third pro, dude, they're cheaper. Like I said earlier, you can buy a whole pack of rolling papers for the price of one blunt. So one pack of rolling papers that'll last you 2 weeks opposed to one blunt that'll last you 1 hour. So they're cheaper, they're faster to roll, and they're all natural. So those are pretty much the pros that I came up with for the joints column. Now, for the cons of joints, this is what I put. They burn too fast. Joints usually always burn super fast. They always burn at least faster than blunts do. So that's why I never really got into smoking joints too much, because especially when you sesh with a bunch of people and you're passing it around, all it takes is for one person with a heavy lung to hit half the joint, and then it ends up canoeing, which leads to the next con that I got for joints. Mostly, joints always canoe. You might get that 1 or 2 or 3 times out of like 10 that you get a perfect joint that doesn't canoe, but on average, when you smoke a joint, it's going to end up canoeing. And I hate having to stop in the middle of a sesh and put some spit on it to stop it from canoeing, and you have to fix it. So that's a pain in the ass, man. So next is there's less variety. Like I said earlier, you got a ton of variety for blunts, and when it comes down to joints, you might have 3 or 4 brands of rolling papers. Now you got those cones and those raw stuff they got out now. So there's more variety than there ever was, but still, blunts, you got a way bigger variety of things to choose from than you would if you were just smoking joints. I mean, that's pretty much what I got as far as the pros and cons of smoking blunts and joints. Now I'm going to get into really bare bones what I think of each and what I prefer. Now, if you're just sessioning with maybe 3 or 4 people, I'm always going to pick a blunt over a joint. Only because, A, when you're smoking a blunt and you got a couple people on it, you can put more weed in there. Blunts are bigger. That way, if you got 4 or 5 people smoking, if you got one blunt and you pack it up nice, you could probably get 7 or 8 people high on one blunt. That's why for sessions, blunts are way better. If you roll up a joint and you got 4 or 5 people, when it gets to the 3rd or the 4th person, depending on how heavy people are hitting it, the thing might be gone. It'll probably start canoeing. If it's windy out, it'll start canoeing or just burning really fast. The paper's really thin. Rolling papers are really thin. So any type of, weather conditions, or if you hit it too hard with the lighter, it could really affect it. Blunt paper is more thick, it's more durable, and it burns slower. So when you're in a session and you're smoking and passing a blunt around, it's going to burn more evenly, it's going to burn more slower, and it's going to last longer. And most likely, if you got 6 or 7 people on the blunt, it's going to get everybody high. That's why I think in a sesh related situation, pulling out a blunt opposed to a joint is definitely going to make the sesh way better. Dude, just the amount of variety that you have when you go to your local head shop or your 7-Eleven, there's so much to choose from. Sometimes I be sitting there in awe for like 5 to 10 minutes trying to figure out what I want to choose as far as I blunt. There's so much out there, man. Like, should I have pineapple or maybe let's try apple? Oh, I didn't even know they had cognac now. Holy shit, tequila flavor? Maybe I'll get that. Dude, it's crazy. And you know what? It's cool, man. I like to have different flavors and try different things. Rolling papers, there's a couple different things out there. They got the cones. I think Zigzag has like some flavored papers out now. It's just not the same though. Blunts, like I said, the paper is just more thicker, it's more durable. It burns slower, it burns more even. If rolled properly, you're gonna get a great smoke out of it. Some people that roll blunts, maybe they don't roll it the right way, they roll it too loose, or maybe they roll it, where it's like pregnant in the middle. If you roll the blunt the proper way, you will definitely have a better experience with a blunt than with the joint. Now, I know there's a lot of old school people out there that will side on the side of joints, and I totally get that. I'm not kicking joints backs in, man. I like smoking joints. I still do smoke joints from time to time. I have no qualms with smoking a spliff now and then. I'm just saying, if I had to choose, I would choose a blunt over a joint. And especially if I had to sesh with a few people, I always choose a blunt over a joint. And basically, I'll just reiterate the reasons why I think blunts are better than joints. Hey, if you weren't listening the first time, blunts definitely burn slower and more even than joints do. Right there is a main reason why I prefer a blunt over a joint. It's going to burn slower, it's going to burn more even, and it's not going to canoe. So if you roll a blunt the proper way, and you can refer to my proper way to roll a blunt video, then you're going to get a great sesh and a great high, and you're going to appreciate what I just told you. All in all, that's my thoughts on blunts versus joints. There's a lot of different varieties out there. You got your Phillies, you got your Dutch Masters, you got your Swisher Sweets and Zigzags, and all the variety types out there. There's a lot of shit going on. If I was you and you're not smoking blunts, I would jump in and maybe experiment with it a little bit here and there. I hope this video was helpful. I hope you guys like this channel. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button. That way you'll get an update every time I post a video. And we're talking about cannabis every day. So don't miss out. And have a lit day, guys. Peace.